Okay, my name is Jasmine Sosa. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm a business economics major with a minor in Latin American and Caribbean studies, and I'm Mexican.
Hey, I'm Carolyn Santos. I'm a freshman with a major in psychology and a minor in social welfare. I'm Puerto Rican and I grew up in Westchester, New York.
And I'm Aisha. I'm a freshman at UAlbany. My major is in economics, and I grew up here in New York, and I'm Brazilian. Okay, so let's just jump into the first question. We already answered it, but where did y'all grow up? Was it a diverse community?
Where I grew up, it was not really diverse at all.
For me, I grew up in these like two neighborhoods, like in and out. So it was Park Slope and Sunset Park, and I most up until like eighth grade, I was in Park Slope, and that was not a diverse community at all. There were like pockets of diversity, but it wasn't like diversity you call it. But then when I went to high school, I moved to a different neighborhood, and I went to school on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and there I saw a lot of diversity. It was super cool.
So yeah, I grew up in an undiverse area in the suburbs, but I was like kind of like raised in a more city-like place. So it was like different. Like it's mainly predominantly white. So I would say it was definitely challenging. Okay. So how has your neighborhood slash community helped or hurt you growing up bilingual?
I guess when I was like in that non-diverse community, I wasn't really speaking Spanish as much, so then I didn't pick it up at that age when it was like really crucial to learn. But then I wasn't ever taught Spanish. I just picked it up by hearing it from my family. So I'm literally like Spanglish like all the time. It's bad.
To be honest, in my community, we were like the first Hispanics to ever like move there. Like
Oh,
same
wow.
thing like at YASU. It was predominantly white. So basically, in my house, like it was just Spanish and English. So just like you, I just picked it up.
Mhm.
But my community, it definitely did hurt a little bit because no one was really like me there, and yeah, I felt like I was like the only one.
I'm kind of like the same. I was really the only like Brazilian or even like black or like Latina, like whatever. I was literally like the only person that was not white. So yeah, I guess one way my community helped me was in school, like in elementary school and middle school. I took like extra English classes to develop my speech better, because growing up I was speaking like broken English because my mom, she didn't know English, so she was learning when we were learning, and that just messed up my whole English everything. So that's one way my community helped me, was extra classes. What's next? Okay, so what was the culture shock like in college?
To be honest, I really like UAlbany. Like coming here is like really diverse. That's like why I chose to go to UAlbany. Like really diverse. So I don't really feel like there was a culture shock because I feel like I found people here that are just like me, and I feel like that's like really comforting, especially with the transition and everything. I don't know. It just feels like home here, like low key, like a second home because I found people that are just like me.
I think there are a lot of organizations in this like school that like are for like, a lot of cultural organizations. Like I didn't know that Lax was like a thing I could pick up. So like Latin American and Caribbean study. That's why I picked it up, because I just think it's like now is the time to be learning all of this stuff and learn about culture, which is why I picked it up. And a lot of clubs. There are a lot of cultural clubs. I was in the Mexican Student Association for a bit. I'll leave it at that.
So yeah, I agree. Like the amount of different, like there's so many like subgenres of clubs and everything. Like there's literally a community for everyone, which I think is great. Cause yeah, I never had that growing up. It's really like it's opened my eyes to like different cultures and different people. Like I met many different people already.
Yeah, touching like on the clubs and organizations, I joined like the Puerto Rican Student Association. It was nice there, and I like to dance too. So in high school I was in a dance group, and then here I joined a dance group too, which is it's called Fuego Intenso, and it's just like it's just like all like Latin dances, which is really nice too. That's why I like UA as well.
Are you in New York?
When I go to like this one, it's about like singing and like it's called P Voices. It's like you know P Voices. Yeah, it's not only singing. It's like more of like auditory art, like poems, acting, and stuff like that. I don't know if it's. I mean, it is considered an organization, but
Like clubs.
Yeah.
so yeah. How has bilingualism helped you in your life?
Growing up bilingual, it helped me connect with people I wouldn't have not connected with otherwise. Like I remember one day I was walking to school and someone had come up to me and asked if I spoke Spanish, and then I just helped them with directions of where to go. But even though this seems like very minimal, it's just one instance of how being bilingual is beneficial to me and how I can use it to help others.
Bilingualism in my life, it's brought me numerous opportunities. Like for example, like with a job, like I find it's really easy to get a job when you speak 2 languages. You get it really fast. And two, I feel like it's really helped me connect with my culture, with my family, and even with my friends too that I've made. It's cool, like speaking another language, and then like no one else can speak it.
Right,
you know?
right.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, everything you said, like it's like having like a secret language. Like
Right.
I feel like that's the best part about it. Let's see. What is one thing that stuck out to you about this course?
I feel like being bilingual, it was just something that was just in my life, but now like being able to like see people around me who are also bilingual, and like we can talk about how important it is, how like, and like the brain aspects of it, like increased cognitive abilities.
Yeah.
And like how that is super important. I just think that like adds more importance to bilingualism in this world.
I think the course was really helpful. It brought we learned about things that like I use like when I speak Spanish, like the code switching. Like I feel like I use that all the time, and I didn't even know like there was like a term for it, you know, like like it brought me to reality of like things that I do every day, you know, and like how other people, like you said, are like that as well.
For me, one thing that stuck out to me was when one of the professors said that you don't have to be completely fluent in another language to be bilingual. Because for the longest time, I would never say I'm bilingual because I understand Portuguese, like I'd say maybe like 80%, and I only speak like maybe 40%. It depends. Like I'm learning every day, but like I would never say I'm bilingual, but once he said that, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I am.
I also think it's super cool when you're like hearing someone speak like 2 languages, and you're able to understand them both. Like in class, when he would like speak in English and in Spanish, and you'd be able to like pick it up really quickly without even like having to think about it. I think that is like really, really cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, it's a superpower. I can't lie.
It really is really dope. Yeah.
One of the challenges for me growing up bilingual. Okay, so I don't know how to explain it. So I grew up in Westchester, right? I live in Westchester. But my mom, she's a teacher, so she taught school in the city. So I went to that school. Like even though I live upstate, like I went to school in the city from like pre-K to like 4th grade. And there, like, it was really good because, like, when in the city, I was, like, it's mad diverse. And then everyone in the school was, like, spoke Spanish like me, right? And then in the 4th grade, then I moved to school, like, upstate. Like, I started going to school upstate. And then that was, like, so, it was, like everyone, like, no one there spoke Spanish. Like I said earlier, like, in my community, like, we're the first Hispanics moved there. So, it was, like, predominantly white. And then I came up to school up in upstate, and then like the school was predominantly white too. The middle school was, and then just now when I graduated high school, that's when like it started to become diverse. So like as I mentioned in the slide, like when I was growing up bilingual, it started to become a challenge because like I started to find people in my school were not like me at all, and that was like really hard to like make friends or like find people that are like you know. So that was definitely one of the challenges. I feel like I lost it a little bit, like my language, when I started to go to school upstate, because like I wasn't speaking it as often in school, just like at home. So I feel like I lost it a little bit, but that was like definitely one of the biggest challenges for me.
I feel like didn't he mention like you never really like lose a language, like it always sticks with you?
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe you just it'll come back to you, like especially now that you're in a more
diverse community.
Yeah, definitely.
exactly.
I remember one time I had my mom. She speaks mostly Spanish, like because she grew up in Mexico. One time I was a kid. I went up and asked her if she thinks in Spanish. She said yeah, and I was really because I think in English. I mean like yeah, and then I was just so curious one day. I'd asked her that. I think that's super cool too. Like I never thought about that until like I was like 8, and I was like, Mom, do you think in Spanish?
Yeah. Do you wish you grew up in like a different community, or like the place that you're actually from, like for example, I'm Puerto Rican, like grew up in Puerto Rico, or like
I always think about that a lot. If I grew up in Mexico, it'd be so different. Like my home country, that'd be insane.
Yeah.
And I visit a lot when I go in like December and summer. It's just so different. Like I would know Spanish very well. Very well.
Yeah.
I think I would have wanted to stay in New York City because like it's New York City, and I going to school on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. It was really cool. It was really dope. I just like you just had to be there. It was amazing. Like there's nowhere else I would have wanted to go to school because.
Like for me, I mean, I feel like obviously it would be different. If I grew up in Brazil, that'd be crazy. But I kind of like where I grew up, even though like it was difficult growing up being like the only different person. I feel like that like adds to like who I am now and what I know and like how I move, like what I do and everything. Like it's really, I guess it's taught me a lot. But also like I went to Brazil. Last time I went to Brazil, I got trapped there because of some documentation issues.
Oh my God.
So I don't know if I'm going back anytime soon because I'm not trying to get trapped there again.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Me personally, like I would have loved to grow up in Puerto Rico. Like I remember I used to ask my mom all the time. I was like, why we moved here? Because when she
Definitely over there.
like when she found out she was pregnant with me, she flew down here to New York. She was like, She was like, I'm not growing up. She was like, I'm not raising her in PR. Like I'm gonna raise her in New York. And I asked her that all the time. I was like, why we didn't stay over there? Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I would have loved to stay over there. I mean, grow up over there. I feel like you said, like my language would be so much better.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Good food.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
When I'm doing work in school, like let's say I'm writing an essay, and like I need a synonym, I think of the word in Spanish, and then I almost put it there, and I'm like, oh wait, I need it in English.
Yeah. Oh my God. I do that a
happens to
lot
you.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that happens to me too.
How was like the dynamic of like going from home where you speak maybe 2 languages or whatever to like, you know, school or hanging with friends and you're speaking English? Like, was that like a difficult transition, like switching back and forth? Cause like I know for one, like my mom, she speaks very broken English. Like her accent is very thick, very heavy. So like sometimes people can't understand her, and like, you know, there's issues with that. So like, do y'all have like are y'all in that same space where it's not like you're embarrassed, but like you don't know if people really understand, you know, like the different,
Like the code switching you do?
yeah, yeah, code switching.
I feel like for me it was the opposite. Like I had mentioned earlier, I'd grown up, like mostly my sisters were taking care of me, so I grew up with English because they all grew up here in New York City. So then when I had gone to school, I had friends who grown up knowing Spanish only. So when I was talking to them, they were like, you don't know Spanish? Well, like, you're not a Mexican. Like, it was like, oh my God, don't even get me started on that. Cause that's, oh my God. And I was like, my
Yes.
sisters raised me. What can I tell you? Can I go back in time and like make my mother like gave her work to raise me? Like,
I mean, like touching on like them saying like you're not a real like Mexican. I feel like in my school, like in my high school, like there was, I'm not saying like this just reminded me of like this, like in my high school, like there was Puerto Ricans, but like they would I forget. they would say like you would talk to them like maybe in Spanish or like say something to them in Spanish or like say something like about the culture and they would like not know or like they would be like confused, you know, and like that to me that just like I was like it kind of hurt because like I couldn't find people in my high school that are Puerto Rican and like that are like
connected to the culture.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Or then you have people in your high school that speak Spanish like real good, and then you'll be speaking to them and then like mess up and they'll be like,
well, it's like you're like, a gun to your head when you're speaking Spanish.
Yes, exactly. Like they act like you don't really know like how to speak it, you know. Yeah. So
yeah, that's part of like the main reason I never said I was bilingual, because like I don't even know if I could speak a good like full like grammatically correct sentence in Portuguese, but like I still like know it.
Yeah.
Like if I hear someone talk, like I'm gonna know like what they said, but it's more of like, you know, connecting all the words. It's like it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to our podcast. It was wonderful to have you. If you would like, you know, press that like button.
Leave a comment below.
Subscribe.
Leave a comment below. Subscribe. And tune in.
Tune in to the next one. We're gonna talk about
Talk about
what we ate on Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.